This great lie, the great lie that is ancient, the great lie that started from the very beginning, the beginning when our parents were cast out of the garden, where they had to toil and they had to sweat, and by the sweat of their brow they ate their bread. The earth changed. It was no longer a paradistical. It was full of noxious weeds, things that stick, things that bite. Our first parents begot many sons and daughters. The great lie came shortly thereafter, where one of the sons of Adam, one of the older sons, had a stirring in his heart, had these feelings of not being good enough, jealousy, because that's how it always starts, right? It starts with these feelings. Finally, when he was ripened, the great deceiver appeared to him. Yes, he who was cast out for rebellion, the great morning, great son of the morning star, Lucifer, who became the devil, who became Satan, came and appeared to Cain and seduced him. Cain agreed in the ancient secrets and lies, the ancient rituals of binding, of darkness were taught to him. Thus Cain slew his brother and submitted that binding to Lucifer. They became one and the same. Thus Cain became Master Muhan, the keeper of the dark secret, the great lie. History does not record this, but in bits and pieces. But if you look, you find the pattern. And the pattern shows that Cain took this lie, this great secret of murder, to get gain, to get power over others. And he taught it to his children, and so on and so forth. All through time, since the very beginning, this secret ritual, this secret path, this dark path has been taught to those who have usurped power over others through assassination, through robbery, seduction. The children of Cain were able to take power over the children of Adam and Eve until they were found out and rooted out and destroyed. This path, this great secret, has been passed down through generation and generation, through millennia, until here we are. This great secret has found its way in kingdoms, countries, principalities, tribes, groups of people. Wherever people gather, the great secret is there. For this great secret, the great ritual goes completely opposite of what Father has taught. Through the murder of the innocent, thou was bound to Lucifer. In turn, he grants thee prestige, glory, wealth, fame. And that's the way it's been. This great secret, the great lie, is only known to a few, and those few have their little minions scattering and scampering, and doing all manners of wickedness, so they can gain a nugget of continuous knowledge, willing to do the most despicable things to gain a nugget of this great lie. For the power that is granted to man is but for a season. But for a season do you rule. But for a season. Afterwards, the father of lies, the father of the great lie, what a horrible realization that he's also lied to you. For nothing in dark can last. Nothing in darkness will stay dark. If you can imagine the Christ, the chosen one, the Messiah, who came to the earth to bring light, eternal light, to his children, to the Father's children. He told the people, "Suffer not the children to come to me." He told us that we should become like children, purified, humble, teachable. The innocence of a child. The Lord has warned us, woe be those who harm my children. For it is better for a millstone to be tied around your neck and thrown into the deepest sea than for you to harm one of my little ones. But the great lie requires the sacrifice of the most innocent. The dark rituals and oaths require the sacrifice of the most innocent, so that you may gain a season of power. And if you think this great lie has not came across the ocean with men and women seeking liberty, then you have been fooled. For it is right here, right now with us today. It's in the highest and lowest places of government. Sometimes they'll come out as president, chancellor, prince, but many times it's behind the scene, calling themselves chairperson, group leader, CEO, organizational leader. And for a time they seem untouchable. They seem to get away with murder itself, with a body count. And people are assassinated in the front of us. Right in front of us, they're assassinated, both good and wicked. And we're given a story. And supposedly we're to believe this story. No one believes his story. But we fear. But we fear because that fear is installed in us, instilled in us. Because we feel like we can't do anything, like that we are helpless. And that's not true. That's also part of the great lie. Because we're powerful. Each one of us are powerful beyond your comprehension, beyond my comprehension. Because you may have power over me for temporarily, for a season, and you may take my life, but I do become more powerful. Slowly but surely, we're waking up. The world's waking up. You and I are waking up. There's a love and empathy for all humankind that is waking up. We're slowly coming together. We're no longer allowing fear to dictate, but faith to know that in the end, we win. Brothers and sisters, do not sacrifice your soul for a season of power. Do not sacrifice your family, your inheritance. Do not sacrifice who you truly are for a season of wealth or fame, because the devil always comes knocking, and the price that you pay is too high. There is a war going on, the same war that is waged across galaxies before the earth was. The same war that cast down a third of the host of heaven, who cast down the great son of the morning. That war continues today on this earth. If our eyes were opened and we were able to see all things, we were able to pierce the veil, we would see things that are glorious and horrifying. Well, the veil is thinning. The veil is thinning. The armies are gathering. You can see a division starting to take place amongst people. You're starting to see a division take place in this world. You're starting to see a desperation take place that is pathetic. If it wasn't for that it ensues so much fear into this population. In the end times, the hearts of men and women will fail. The seas will rise, earthquakes in diverse places, lightning tempests. Cities will fall, countries will fall. Wars will be raged across the world, wars and rumors of war. It's time for us to no longer fear, but rejoice and have faith that all will be well. Sometimes we have to take that higher path, that harder path, but once we take it, oh, what the glory that we get, the knowledge that we get and gain as we see a little bit more clearly. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Some of you have said, well, why are we kept in the dark? Why are we kept like this? I would answer you by saying, we are totally responsible for the knowledge that we have. And you say you want to know all things, but are you willing to be held accountable for that level of knowledge? Because with that level of knowledge, you carry a huge responsibility. And if you are not able to handle that level of knowledge, you will fall, and oh, how great that fall will be. For you were trusted. You were a light bearer. The glory of God, which is the knowledge of God, and you fell, O sons of perdition. Strengthen your families. Strengthen your families. Come together with your spouse. Strengthen your children. Let them know how much you love them. Do not allow them to upload crap into their brain that will do nothing but tear them down. Beware of the serpent, for he speaks with a forked tongue. He comes to you as a friend, but inwardly he's a ravening wolf. My dear friends, it's a good day to live. What a day we live in. All this change, all this wonderful change, the awakening is happening. Be kind to each other. When you see someone who makes you so angry, ask yourself, why are you so angry at them? Is it because they remind you of things you don't like about yourself? In which case, it's okay to change. The meek shall inherit the earth, while the wicked will be burned as stubble. Now, don't think that the meek is weak. That is men and women who are willing to stand up strong for values, willing to stand up straight, who are willing to repent, to call into question their actions and to change the very breath they breathe, to stop missing the mark and start hitting it, the mark that was created for all of us to hit, the commandments that Father gave each one of his children to keep us safe. If you see someone who dresses or acts something that you would not approve of, you have to think that that is still one of Father's children who he loves more than the stars above. And oh, what he must have went through, or she must have went through to get to this state. Stop seeing people as your enemy, that you're your brothers and sisters, truly. Reach out, serve. Keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself wise. Learn from your mistakes. Stop making them. If you're addicted to anything, do whatever you have to do to get rid of that addiction. Especially addictions that the world has accepted as normal, because they're not normal, man. Pornography especially. You reduce people to the sum of their parts. A human being becomes equipment to you. You view the daughters of God or the sons of God as less than. Keep fighting the good fight. The war is already won. Those who are doing the best they can, who are good people, will make it through this. Those who are wicked, who have rooted themselves down with a great lie, will be rooted out and burned. The earth will be cleansed, for she groaneth.